And then COVID happens. COVID happens. And for like the third or fourth time now, my film is not only just on a block, but like my life, the world's life, our health, everything was on pause. And I just, at least at that time, like I was really, and I am still really trying to work on my positivity and my vibes and all that. But like, I was just like, it is not meant for me to do this project. I just felt like every step of the way, something happened. So I'm definitely trying to keep myself busy creatively and personally while we're on this stay-at-home restrictions due to the COVID-19, aka the coronavirus, aka the Rona. So I've been working out featuring this painting by artist Derek Patterson. You can find him on Instagram at Derek_Pat937 for his artwork on there if you want to check him out. But it's a few days before May 1st, my deadline for the script. Excuse me, my deadline for the script is May 1st. So I'm starting to feel a bit overwhelmed, a touch of anxiety because I'm not done and I was done. I've had about 5 different versions of the script thus far, and then I decided to scratch them all about a week ago and start over. So as of yesterday, I was on page 35 of a script that I'm hoping to get to 90 pages. All of my other scripts are about 110 pages, and I just feel like that's kind of long. Each page usually, and this is just what I learned from film school, is about a minute. So 90 pages is an hour and 30 minutes, which is what mostly a lot of movies are, between 90 minutes and 2 hours. I don't want to stress about it too much, but kind of hard not to because my deadline was May, and I see all these posts on Instagram like, if you come out of the virus or the quarantine when you ain't got no new skill or you ain't got this or you got that, like you tripping. So it's like, try not to worry about money, try not to worry about how I'm gonna pay my bills as much, so I can kind of be creative and in my zone. But it's definitely hard when you have to rely on other people. Like, I feel bad. I feel like a burden in some sense to my partner because I don't feel like I can contribute like I used to because I don't have that extra money that I was getting with overtime and my radio job. I'm not been able to work my radio job because I was only part-time and they let us go. The day I was let go, so it was like end of March, I applied for unemployment. I'm like, okay, I need to set myself up because I can't have no gaps. You know, I got rent, I got my project, I got all of this stuff. You know, I got a car, I was paying a phone bill now. Like, I had grown people bills. Like, okay, I can't relapse, you know. I had, again, I had the grant money. Yeah, I had the grant money because I got it in that January. So this was March. I had the grant money, but I didn't want to spend none of that money because I'm like, man, I worked so hard to get this money for the film. So it's like, I don't have multiple accounts. I got one account and it's like split up into 3 different accounts. And so I put the grant money like in my savings, and I'm like staring at it as my check-in dwindles and dwindles and dwindles and dwindles. So I applied for unemployment. I was unemployed. Looking back, it seemed like it was such a long time. But now when I talk about it, I was let go at the end of March. I came back to work. I ended up coming back to work like mid-June. So April, May. So I was out of work for 2.5 months. But it felt like 6 months, forever. So I applied for unemployment. And at that time, I'm just like, again, I've always been in the mindset of like getting money. I gotta get this money. Like, I had money to kind of like pay my bills because I had like, I think 2 checks at that time to pay for April rent. So I was cool on that. And then I think my 10 vacation days was for another 2 weeks. So I had half of May. But I ain't had the other half of May. And at that time, I didn't know how long I was going to be laid off. So I started doing DoorDash. I'm at Chili's right now. I decided to do DoorDash instead of like Uber and Lyft. Just because I don't like people. And I like doing this shit on my own. So, yeah. Make quick little money during this coronavirus shit. But I'm definitely excited about the film. Excited and nervous. I've been working on this project for about 2 years now. Don't seem like 2 years. You're supposed to film it last summer and shit just kind of fell apart. And I'm just, in a better place now. I don't regret anything because I was able to learn from it. Oh, my eyebrows. I was able to learn from it, but I definitely feel different and I definitely feel ready to like do this shit. It wasn't as bad. Looking back, it wasn't as bad, but because I didn't know the unknown of like how long I was going to be doing this, if I was going to be able to make enough money to even pay my bills, it was kind of nerve-wracking. And I think because everybody was kind of laid off, it was an influx of DoorDashes. Everybody was kind of like at home. Everybody was scared. Nobody wanted to like physically leave the house, and if they did, like all the groceries was gone. So it was kind of like a twofold experience because even though stuff was shut down, people was ordering a lot, so therefore I was getting a lot of business. The only thing, in my opinion, that was kind of bad about DoorDash is that it was a gas guzzler. But my car is a compact car. It only takes like 9 gallons to fill up, so it wasn't too bad. But I had to fill up like midweek because I was using so much gas. So I was doing DoorDash like all day. I would do like 8 to 12 when I first started. And then once I kind of figured out the layout, I realized like dinner time was where the money was at. You hear that nature? You hear the birds? I can hear the birds. I don't know if you can hear the birds, but I thought it was important to document this process because oftentimes, especially with like social media being as high intensity as it is, you see people just on making money, popping. But a lot of people, and I mean, why would you showcase your failures in a sense? But like a lot of people don't really showcase their failures. They only showcase their failures once they're on. And for people like me, especially, I'm young, I'm in my early 20s, well, like my mid 20s, kind of just starting out in the industry. I think it's important to be encouraged, by people that's of color, of, women from the South, from inner cities, from, different backgrounds, doing what you want to do. Because it'll teach you like, okay, if I just go hard, if I just keep going, if I just keep being persistent, looking at all the trials and tribulations that this person is going through. So you got to know like that shit just ain't gonna be sweet, because shit has not been sweet for me, and specifically during this for this project. Unemployment was playing me like I had filled out everything I needed to fill out, sent in all my information, all the supplemental materials that they asked me for, like the day I was laid off, or like I applied the day I was laid off and like end up submitting whatever they was asking me for by like that following week. And again, I ain't never been unemployed before. I didn't know how this stuff worked.
So I didn't know what the processing time would be. So this whole time I was laid off, I didn't get any unemployment. Even though I applied, I was still getting food stamps, so that was cool. So I didn't really have to worry about groceries or anything, but I wasn't getting any money. So whatever money I was making was directly from DoorDash. So that was like very, very, very scary. So also during this time, I wanted to still kind of keep in contact with my cast because I didn't want to lose them. I'm like, we have worked so hard to get to this point. I don't want to get here and lose momentum and like have to start all over again, because that was a trend within this whole process of like me finding people that I'm dropping out or things happening or whatever. So we started doing virtual rehearsals. No, I got my line after that. Hold on.
Oh, wait. Oh,
so after sorry. That one, after that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. I threw us all off. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I lost my virginity.
Really? You lost your virginity from a walk?
No, I lost my virginity because I created a fantasy. Guys like mystery. They want everything they think that they have.
So how did that work for you?
Well, I met this guy at church.
Church?
Yes, I'm a Christian. Thank you very much. God loves us all. Anyway, he had been trying to talk to me for a while during youth service, but I just wasn't giving him no play, which made him try harder. And then one day, I was walking by and he slightly touched my hand, which got my attention, of course. We was talking and he said something like, "Why you keep playing with me? You know I'll treat you right." And I said, "Because if you mess with me, your life will never be the same." So today is day whatever of quarantine. I just finished my last virtual rehearsal. This is an interesting process because this is my first time directing, and this would be my first rehearsal on my own. I've been in rehearsals with like the directors that I picked as the producer, but never as the director and the producer. So it's kind of interesting because it's virtual. But I think it went good. We just got a notification earlier this week that Wisconsin, where we'll be filming, has extended their stay at home. So we originally were supposed to film in June, and now we have to push that back because the stay at home order will not be up until the end of May, unfortunately. So it's been a process, still trying to find locations, but it's hard to find locations when it's a whole virus out here and everybody's scared and I can't visit or look at anything. But fortunately enough, because everybody's working from home, everybody's responding to their emails. So that's good. Just going to stay positive, keep reaching out to people, keep trying to find crew. At the universities here in Wisconsin, I've reached out to Marquette. I have a person going to be on the crew from Marquette University in Milwaukee. I reached out to University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, Mount Mary, which is an all-girls college, and Alverno, which is an all-girls college as well. So I'm going to be reaching out to more schools like MATC, MSOE. One of our actors is that goes to MSOE, and really try to get the community involved. Because that's what, granted, is a movie about Milwaukee, but I definitely want to get Milwaukee involved as much as possible. Those were kind of difficult because, again, this was my first time directing. This was my only second time writing my own script. I had produced at that time like various short films, but this was my first big project. All my projects prior to that were short films. My longest film was my thesis at that time, and that was like 15 minutes. I didn't write it. I only produced it. I didn't direct it. So it was like an immense amount of pressure because I had put in all of this time and effort on the producing side. I mean, I wrote it, so that was like time and effort too, for that summer. But for like a year and a half, shoot, maybe even 2, I put in so much time into getting the money, finding the crew, finding the cast, finding locations, all of that, to now we have the directing. And I hadn't really nurtured that skill set yet. You know, I had read the books, I had did a lot of observations, but I didn't really have any practice. So having to practice virtually was very difficult because I felt like I wasn't getting it as good as an experience, and then my actors wasn't getting it as good as experience because a lot of them, this was like their first big project too. Hello everyone. So I decided to put on some makeup today because I was tired of looking bogus in my documentary. But I just wanted to share some exciting news. I finished the script today. I've been working on the script for like a year. Different phases. It went from a 6-episode web series to a feature film. And you know, this is kind of like one of my first times really writing something this long of a length. Usually a feature film is about an hour and a half, 2 hours, more than that if you like Quentin Tarantino or somebody, but that's not what I'm going for. So my first script was 116 pages, or no, 119, and that was a lot. My second one was 106, and this one I wanted to get it to as close as 90 pages as possible. And this morning around 12 I finished, and it was at 85, so I reached my goal. Later on today, I'll go, when I get back home, I'll go and do my revisions, you know, just fine tweak it or whatever, just to make sure everything is nice, makes sense, concise. I still want to make sure I have those Milwaukee anecdotes in there because that's the whole point of it. I still want to make sure that I didn't lose a lot of the character of the film. So I kind of have an attitude because I only like eating, and this was the whole reason why I went here, because I was like, oh, I'm gonna be healthy. I'm gonna get the chicken tenders. I added up, I did the calculations online for the calories. They ain't got no chicken tenders. Only reason why I came to McDonald's, they ain't even got no chicken tenders. The chicken selects, I like them because they made to order and they be fresh. Now these chicken nuggets, they probably gonna be dull, hard and shit. Whole attitude. But more about the King Girls project. I'm going to update you guys on some filmmaking things that could be beneficial for you all, some script writing tools or tips that may be beneficial. And I just want this documentary to be informational, educational, but also to show the process of how this film has come together. So that's what I hope to do. I'm currently getting some McDonald's right now before I go door dashing. I told y'all I've been laid off from my job. I'm going to receive my last check from work tomorrow, so I got to make this money. I'm trying to figure out what's this fine young lady's reasoning for still sitting here at this drive-thru like it's McDonald's. Order what you need and pull up.